Lavender, are you ready to confess?
I'm ready to confess.
Tell us what you do.
Yeah, so obviously I'm Lavender. I am a master esthetician. I've been a master esthetician for about 7 years, and I'm the manager of Face Foundrie and Meridian.
Nice. And how did you get into that?
I was doing a lot of admin work. I was running a pest control office actually, and my ex-husband worked there with me, and we moved to Utah because he was going to BYU. I'm not Mormon, but he was going to BYU, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I'm so tired of working in admin work. Like, I'm bored and I want a career that I'll be interested in. And I had worked for Clinique when I was 19, and at this point I'm 23. So I was like, what about skincare? So I kind of looked into it. Before that, I didn't even know that being an esthetician was its own thing. I thought it was just cosmetology. So I looked into it, and Utah has one of the best esthetician schools in the country. So I was like, okay, this is it. Let's go.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then how did you get in with Face Foundrie?
So that was kind of an interesting story. I got basically laid off from the last job I was working. I was working for an aesthetic injector, but her aesthetics portion of her business wasn't busy enough for her to warrant having another person there. She could have done it on her own. And so love her still. But I was looking for admin positions again. I was like, I think I'm done with aesthetics. I don't know, the universe doesn't want me doing this. And then Face Foundrie kind of just fell into my lap. I applied for their management role, and they had hired someone else. And Gabe, one of the owners, reached out to me and was like, would you be interested in being an esthetician? And I was like, no. No, I wouldn't. But tell me more. What services are you offering? What's the pay like? Give me all the things. And so he was like, well, let's hop on a phone call. And I talked to him for maybe a half an hour or something like that. And I just loved him. And I was like, okay, do I want to be an esthetician anymore? I'm not sure, because it hasn't been going exactly how I've wanted it to. I've tried all these things and I've had so many experiences, but I'm just not making a ton of money. And so, but talking to him, I was like, I want to work for him. So I ended up accepting the esthetician role, and they flew me out to Minnesota to do the corporate training so I could come back and train the rest of their staff. And then over the course of training their staff, they fired the manager and then promoted me. So I was only just an esthetician for a month, and then I got promoted.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it worked out for me. I got the job I applied for originally, so.
That's great.
Yeah.
I think it's funny how the universe always it tends to work out the way that you want it to. It just sometimes takes a roundabout way.
Yeah, it's never how you think it will. Even when you get what you want, that's not how I thought I was going to get what I wanted,
Yeah.
So it's cool.
Tell me a little bit about Face Foundrie and how they got started.
Yeah, so Face Foundrie is cool. Our CEO's name is Michelle Henry. Okay. She has 3 or 4 kids, and when she had her last child, she was experiencing some skin issues. And so she was looking for a place that she could go that had the vibe that she wanted, that felt inclusive and welcoming, that would meet her where she was at. So, and she wasn't really finding it, because spas, she's like, well, I don't have 3 hours to get a facial, I don't want to spend a whole day here. I don't want to spend $300. And then it was kind of the same thing with med spas. She was like, well, this is so expensive. And I also she didn't feel like it was the most welcoming environment at every place that she went. And so she was like, I'm just going to create my own thing and create what I want, because she had been really successful in boutiques. And so she just pivoted and created Face Foundrie. And our whole mission statement is about being, inclusive and meeting people where we're at. We want everyone to feel welcome coming to us, whether you're like brand new to skincare, you wash your face with water, like you've never done anything before, or you're like a skincare junkie and you've been to all the med spas and you get lasers and whatever, but you just want a facial, you know?
And tell me a little bit about like your guys' services.
Yeah, so we mostly do facials. We like to say we're all things face.
Okay.
So most of it is going to be facials, but then we also offer a little bit more, I don't want to say invasive, because the downtime associated with them is less than in traditional services of that type, but we do offer chemical peels and we offer microchanneling.
Okay.
Microchanneling, I think, is something that people, not a ton of people have heard of, but it's very similar to microneedling.
Okay.
So the results are super comparable, but way less downtime.
And what kind of I have a dermatology background. What kind of chemical peel do you guys use?
We use PCA chemical peels. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we have one Face Reality chemical peel, which is in our acne agent protocol.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you guys have a lot of products too, right?
Yeah, we carry like 7 or 8 lines, I think. We have a lot.
Yeah. And are they all Face Foundrie or are they like different brands?
Different brands.
Okay.
So we do have our Face Foundrie brand, tried and true. And I love it because it's a little bit lower of a price point compared to some of our other brands. So it's nice that we have like a wide range from being like super affordable, like almost like Sephora drugstore kind of price, to those higher end lines like PCA, which is more of like the medical type of line. So.
And what's like the biggest difference? Like...
Like between the lines, I would say delivery systems probably. When you're in a line that is not like a medical grade line, that's usually what the big difference is. Like they might have the same ingredients, but the way that they're delivered is different. So it affects the efficacy. And that's not to say that lower priced products are not efficacious. It's just that it's going to be on a different level, you know? And also we have lines that cater to different things. So we have Face Reality, which is going to be like our acne line. And then we have Alchemy Forever, which is going to be like our anti-inflammatory line, or Elta MD, which does, as you know, like they're great with sunscreens and also with like, I like them for rosacea clients. So like we just have a good mix for everyone.
So kind of getting in the business side of things, what did Gabe and Tyler have to learn or unlearn in order to become profitable?
I think that's a really, really good question. I think that they both come from a different type of background that tends to be like, for example, Tyler is like the VP of a product suite for like a software management company.
Oh, wow.
So his background is very like corporate. Gabe is a nurse practitioner. Okay. So their backgrounds are just different. And I think that it does really help them in this field. But I also think that would probably say that they've had to unlearn some of those like corporate tendencies, because coming into like an esthetician world, we totally embrace some of the corporate and we use some of it every day, but it's different. And especially like with our girls, like our estheticians, their mindset is completely different. So there have been moments where we've had to sit down like as a team, and the girls will be like, we don't feel like this is working for us, or we don't enjoy this about what's going on in the store right now, or whatever. And we really are like a feedback culture. So I think part of it is just like humbling ourselves and listening to the team and being like, okay, what is working and what isn't? Yeah. As opposed to just being like, no, we said it's going to go this way. This is how it's going to go.
That's fair. And then a question I had earlier, so it seems like it's, because you said that there's the founder, so I assume there's multiple locations then. And
yeah, it's a franchise.
Okay, so how did they get into the franchise specifically?
So they were customers, they were clients. Okay. Yeah, I guess in Minnesota, Face Foundrie is kind of like a household name. Okay. Like there's like 3 or 4 corporate stores out there, I believe. And then now there's over 60 like Face Foundrie locations, but they started out as clients, and Gabe's sister actually worked at a Face Foundrie.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So are they from Minnesota?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, they're from Minnesota, and then but all of the owners of Face Foundries are local to where they opened the stores.
Okay.
So when they were looking at what markets they wanted to open stores in, it's also where do you want to move? So, and they had some like friends and family out here, so this was like a natural choice for them, and they ended up out here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How did they like the adjustment? Like,
I don't feel like it was a big adjustment for them. Like, it's definitely different than Minnesota. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was more of an adjustment than they let on, but they love it out here.
Yeah.
So
I feel like a lot of people like it out here.
Yeah. Well, most of my clients are not from here. Like, that's a question I've started asking all of my clients because I grew up here, but there's so many transplants. So I'm always like, where are you from? And most of my clients are not from here, but they all love it.
I kind of experienced the same thing in dermatology. Like, I don't know if it's just like natural or native Idahoans like I don't want to say don't value it, but they just like
yeah.
I don't know.
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Though. Like I think like maybe it is an Idaho thing and maybe it's not, because I feel like our culture isn't quite as vain as other places that I've lived. And so I don't think people care as much, and maybe that sounds bad, but I don't think people necessarily care as much about the anti-aging and protecting their skin from the sun and whatever as in other places I've lived.
Yeah. I think that's a good way to frame it too, because I don't know, I feel like it's... Have you seen the movie Divergent?
Yeah.
I feel like we're the people in the gray.
Yeah.
You know what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Like we don't like pay attention to aesthetics and like all that other stuff. But we do have an influx of people coming from like all over, and I have noticed that there's a lot more like med spas or facial clinics or dermatology clinics popping up. So obviously there's a need.
I think it's booming. I think it's an industry that's growing a lot here, and part of that probably is the influx of people from elsewhere. But I've noticed that too. Like, we have a lot of med spas. A lot.
Yeah. I know. It's just interesting because I also grew up here, so I'm like, like I see the value. I'm kind of on the cusp, like, because you're taught not to care about that, but then like I see the value. Yeah.
And I think as women too, it's a little bit different because like my dad, for example, he's had like multiple like little cancerous spots cut out of his face. You couldn't pay the man to wear sunscreen. Like, he doesn't care. He's like, whatever, the damage is done. But as a woman, it's different because you just, I think, inherently care a little bit more about your appearance, and society cares a little bit more about your appearance.
Yeah.
And so you don't want lesions cut out of your face.
No.
And I think we just care a little bit more.
Yeah. What's like the biggest service request right now that you've seen?
Hydrofacials are really popular.
Okay.
Especially right now because we're actually running like a promotion on them. So they're discounted for Black Friday and like on, which is really nice. So hydrofacials are super, super popular. Plus they're just like, that is a well-known name, that company. So we get a lot of requests for hydrofacials, but also just like a basic facial, like one of our focused facials with dermaplaning. Everyone loves a dermaplane. So
we were kind of talking about that before. But just circling back on that, what do you think the biggest like benefit is for people who don't understand what dermaplaning is?
Yeah, I think for me, it's definitely exfoliation is the biggest benefit. But just from like not an esthetician standpoint, the noticeable benefit is like how soft your skin is. So makeup lays a lot better. Your skincare is going to penetrate better. And be more effective. But I think for most women, it's like, oh, my makeup looks good.
Yeah. I have noticed that. I had it done once, and my skin was just so, like, glowy. And, like, it's like the glass skin that everybody talks about. But I don't feel like I can get back to that place because of the texture.
Yeah. Do you exfoliate?
No.
That's why. Exfoliate.
I know.
there's so many different kinds of exfoliation. I use like a Mandelic serum as my primary exfoliation. So I like that chemical exfoliation the best.
Yeah. What's the Mandelic?
Mandelic is an acid.
Okay.
I believe it's an AHA. So you can think of it in the same realm as like glycolic or whatever, but it's more gentle.
Okay.
So it penetrates the skin slower because it has a larger molecular size.
Okay.
And then it's just more gentle on the skin. So you kind of get like that. I use it every day. So you get that like everyday level of exfoliation.
I'll have to save that. Pin that for later.
Yeah, it's nice.
Okay. This one is kind of back on the business side of things. How do you set boundaries without sounding rude or losing a client?
It can be hard. I think I'm the type of esthetician who likes to be real with my clients, but sometimes you get a client who I don't want to say delusional, but like but like they have a very specific image in their mind of what they want and also what outcome they want, and I know as the expert that the two don't match up. And so sometimes you just have to be real with people. And I like to frame it in like an I'm the professional way and just be polite when I'm saying it.
Yeah.
It can be difficult, and it's something that I've had to learn over time. But I think being real with clients is the best thing that you can do, because if you're being real, hopefully they'll trust you and they'll be like, okay, she's coming from a place of honesty.
Yeah.
Like, but you do have to be kind of like polite about how you're saying things.
What do you think the biggest misconception is, like, leading up to that?
Which part?
The like wanting two different results that don't.
Yeah. I think things like TikTok. I think doing your own research and like, oh, this worked really great for my friend, or this worked really good for Alex Earl, or whatever, right? Like, I think that people do a lot of their own research on things like TikTok, and this works great for other people, so it will work great for me. And I'm like, I love that it worked so well for other people, but it's not right for you.
Yeah.
So I think that's usually where the misconceptions come from, is just people have done their own research and it's not necessarily right.
What's like the biggest thing that TikTokers get wrong?
I think, that's a really good question. I don't know that I would say they get it wrong, but the most popular thing that I see right now is like Korean skincare. And I don't dislike Korean skincare. I actually think that Korea is like miles above everyone else in terms of skincare and like skin machines and things like that. They're like the leaders of the world in it. I think the problem becomes when I get clients and they're using Korean skincare and I ask them, like, what does the product do? I don't know.
Oh.
You know, they're like, I don't know. I just heard it was a good product. And I'm like, okay, do you know what's in it? No, the ingredients are in Korean. Like, I don't know. And so that's what drives me crazy, is like, I can't help you with your routine if I don't know what your routine is. Like, you don't even know what your routine is. So that becomes hard for me, where like otherwise I would love it, but I'm like, please figure out what you're using.
Well, then like I've seen on TikTok, they come in like this mass, like specifically one like has like a 10-step process.
Yeah.
And it's like, how can that be good for you?
Yeah, like, well, and 10 products is so many products. Like,
that might be over exaggerating, but it was like several products.
Yeah, I mean, just in general, like, I think simple routines tend to be better for most people's skin, because if you do too much, like, your skin's gonna freak out. And I'm like a lover of a long routine, but there also becomes this moment of like, how strict are you gonna stick to that? If it's like 7 products for morning and 7 products for night, like, most people are not gonna be strict about that routine, because they're like, I'm tired, like, I don't want to do all this. and then you also don't know which products you're using. Like, how do you know what's going on?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I agree with the simple. Like, I've tried in the past to do like a few step process, and I just never like stuck to it, and now I'm down to one thing, and it like I can do it consistently.
Yeah, I think it helps a lot with consistency to have like a minimal, and I think you can have a really good routine with like 3 products, you know, depending on your skin, but for most people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, like I'm tired and I don't want to like sit for an hour and do all this.
Yeah, no, it becomes a lot, especially when you're tired. You're like, I don't want to do this.
Well, and layering matters, and I don't think a lot of people know that.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And also, like, people don't know like how to layer or things like that too. So sometimes I'll get people who have routines, and I'm like, this could be a really good routine if we took like 3 products out and we also rearranged how you're doing it.
Yes. So talking a little bit more about products, do you want to talk about what you brought today?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, let's do it. Where's okay. So I basically brought like all of our favorites for bridal prep.
Okay.
Basically like our must-haves. Some are kind of day of products. Others are, one of these opens. Oh, it's this one. And then, okay, thank you. And then some of these are kind of ones you would use leading up to it. So speaking of Mandelic, the 5% Mandelic, I actually brought you some.
Oh, thank you.
So I love this, and almost every girl in our store uses this.
Okay.
Because it's really good for acneic clients, but also for a client who doesn't have acne. It's just going to give you that like beautiful glow, and it'll help a ton with texture.
Okay.
So this is something you can use. You would adapt to it over time. Face Reality calls it the adaptive method. So you would start like maybe only every other day, and then you move into every day, and then you move into morning and night. But yes, exactly. Totally. So this is something that I would recommend a bride start probably like minimum 3 months before.
Okay.
Just to give your skin complete time to adapt to it and see if you like it or not. Pretty much all of these products, try them with ample time before your wedding. Don't do it like the night before and then be like, I have a rash, you know? Not that our products give people rashes, but you might be allergic to something.
Well, I feel like you shouldn't try literally anything like right before your wedding.
Oh my God, no, you shouldn't. But people don't realize that. Like, especially if you're not a skincare girly, like you don't know I shouldn't do this hydrofacial with dermaplaning for the first time 2 days before my wedding, and then it's too much exfoliation and your skin's unhappy. Like, so that's what the esthetician's here for, to tell you that. And then I brought the Blue Stuff serum. So this is a brightening serum as well. Really hydrating. It has hyaluronic acid in it, niacinamide, and vitamin C. So it's going to be a little bit barrier strengthening as well, which we love. But this is a Face Foundrie product, and this is one of our like staples.
Oh, I think I've definitely seen it. On your guys' stuff.
Yeah, we give it out in giveaways sometimes and do things like that. We like love this product. So.
And the biggest benefit from this one is brightening?
Yeah, I would say it's another brightening, hydrating one, because you want that really like hydrated, plump skin. Like you were saying, everyone wants that like glassy skin. So that'll really help with that. We use it in all of our facials. So, yeah. And then Face Foundrie lip balm.
Ooh.
We call it the best lip balm ever. And it really is like the best lip balm ever. Like, I remember when we were like learning all the products, I was like, okay, the best lip balm ever. But it's so good. It's a lip balm, but it's so good. And then this one is our Cantic Brightening Moisture Mask.
Okay.
This is by Alchemy Forever. So this is going to be another good one for hydration and that bright, glowy skin. It was actually formulated as the first product in their line.
Okay.
And it was formulated for post-treatment. So if you're someone who's getting like micro channelings or chemical peels before your wedding to prepare, you can use this after to help heal. And then you can also use it like the night before your wedding or the morning of to give you that extra hydration and that extra glowiness, because it's really beautiful when you take it off. Like there really is. I like to exfoliate and then use it, and I notice like a visible difference in the brightness. It's like beautiful. And then sunscreen, because everyone needs sunscreen. Yes. So this is Elta MD's UV Skin Recovery. It's a little bit green tinted. The green tint helps with redness, but also the ingredients in the product will help with redness over time too. The reason why I chose it for this box is because I think it is the most of like a thinner consistency that they offer, so it doesn't peel as much as like some other traditional sunscreens where like you can't really layer them because you're like, oh, there's just, I can feel all the product on my face balling up. You don't really get that as much with this. So, and it leaves a very pretty like dewy finish. So this is the one that I use every day because it sits well under makeup and it is dewy and gorgeous.
For those who don't know about layering with sunscreen, what would the step process be when you're doing your makeup?
So it kind of depends. I would say, especially if you're using something that has like hyaluronic acid in it, you want to do your sunscreen last always, like after your moisturizer. But if I have something that has hyaluronic acid in it, I'm gonna let that sit for a second before I put my sunscreen on, and I'm gonna make sure like it's really, really absorbed and I've rubbed it in really well, and then put my sunscreen on, because then you'll get less peeling. Yes. So I think, yeah, that's one of the biggest things that can help is just letting all your skincare like settle in, dry, and then put your sunscreen on. Because with like hyaluronic acid, if it's like mixing with the sunscreen, that's really when it starts to like peel.
Okay.
And then the last one is another Face Foundrie product. This is our collagen spritz. I like this as just like, oh, I'm feeling kind of dry, spritz. You know, you can use it as a setting spray if you want to. It doesn't have like oils or ingredients in there that are going to mess up your makeup. So that's why I like it, is like you're going throughout the day, you have your makeup on, I'm not feeling refreshed. Okay, I'm going to pull my collagen spritz out and give myself a little spritz.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And this whole thing, brides should like essentially start skincare prep like how long before a wedding?
I would say at least 3 months, because it takes that long to see a noticeable difference in your skin with products. I would say the earliest that you really, really notice like a big visible difference is going to be like 8 weeks with the product.
Okay.
So I like to say 3 months, because then you know if you need to switch something up, you have time.
And when's like the absolute latest you would do anything as far as like chemical peels, like facials, anything?
Probably like a month. Facials are a little bit different. If you're just doing like a basic facial and a dermaplane, you could probably do that like the week before your wedding. Or even a hydrofacial you could do like the week before your wedding, but I wouldn't do it for the first time the week before your wedding.
Yes.
So I would try any new service to you, give yourself a couple of months to see, so that you know how your skin is going to react. And then you can kind of figure out, oh, I love this, I'm going to do it the week before. But for bigger things, give yourself a minimum of a month. So like a chemical peel, a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then as far as like I know that you guys do like bride party kind of things. When do people typically do that?
I think that just depends on them and what they're looking for with their party, because we call them face parties. They're super fun. If you're looking for like a fun thing to do for your bridesmaids, couldn't think of the word.
That's okay.
Yeah, if you're looking for a fun thing to do with your bridesmaids, that could be a fun thing to do like the week before. Have everyone prepped and ready to go for like makeup and yeah.
That's awesome. kind of getting back into the business side of things, what do you believe that businesses or brands are too afraid to say about pricing?
That sometimes that's just what it costs.
Mm.
I think sometimes people want to I think we don't live much in like a bartering culture, but there is price shopping where sometimes people just want like the lowest price available. And at Face Foundry, like our prices are super affordable. Like we have the lowest price in the valley for hydrofacial, but that's what it costs. So it's like we might be offering a $149 membership for a hydrofacial, but you're not going to get another discount on top of that because hydrofacial itself, it's an expensive thing to carry. The machine is expensive, the solutions are expensive, the consumables are expensive, so that's just what it costs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know about what specifically hydrofacial is, do you want to walk through that process?
Yeah, so hydrofacial is a name brand for a hydrodermabrasion machine. I would say it's probably the most popular name brand. So it's basically going to do exfoliation with solutions, and it also is really good and really well known for like congestion because it uses suction. So with the solutions, it'll exfoliate and then it'll loosen up any congestion in the skin, and then we go in and like suck it out. And there's also a little mini chemical peel in the within the hydrofacial, not enough to like cause peeling, at least the solution that we use for it, but enough to give you that like bright, glowy, pretty skin.
What's your favorite like service that you guys offer?
I think microchanneling.
Okay.
Yeah. I like it because I would say it's like the most noticeable result for like especially like an anti-aging client or a pigmentation client. Like I come from more of like a med spa background, so I'm used to those like big, really expensive, like invasive services that yield really dramatic results, and microchanneling is like the most dramatic result that we offer.
And what's the downtime on that? Because chemical peels, it could be up to 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, so for us with microchanneling, it's not bad. It's so different than microneedling because you don't have any pinpoint bleeding for the most part. That's very rare. You might have some redness for a couple of days at really the most.
Yeah.
And then you might feel dry and tight for up to a week. But that's the dry and tight part isn't really visible. So it's like
You could use.
yes. Yep.
Okay.
You could totally use that. I would recommend using that. So the downtime is not bad. I wouldn't do it like the day of an event, but you could, if you were crunched for time, you could do it like the week before if you knew that your skin reacted well.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would you recommend to brides as far as like a pre-wedding like glow up?
Yeah. I think it depends on if they have major concerns or if they're only wanting like a refresh. And if they're only wanting a refresh, my favorite thing would probably be like a hydrofacial with dermaplaning. But my recommendation would just be try it with enough time that you know your skin reacts well, because it is a lot of exfoliation.
Yeah.
But
kind of on the juicier side of things, what advice needs to stop being repeated?
Ooh, that's a good one. And I'm sure I've heard lots of things actually. Um one of my things that I think is a little bit controversial is I don't believe, especially in this climate, that everyone needs to double cleanse twice a day. So I think that's something that people get told all the time is like, cleanse twice a day, cleanse twice a day. And most people only need to cleanse like once a day. And double cleanse while you're doing it, especially if you're someone that wears makeup, then you definitely do want to double cleanse, but you only need to do it like once a day for most people.
Especially in Idaho.
Yeah, because it's so dry.
Yeah. Where let's see. what's a confession about like your industry that you've never said out loud?
It can be a catty industry, I think. Luckily, I was actually talking to one of my friends who's a photographer about this earlier because she had worked in the industry prior to being a photographer, and she was asking me how things were going at Face Foundrie, and I was like, it's great, because our team isn't like that. Like, it's really, we have a really, really good dynamic within our store where the girls love coming to work. They love each other. Like,
Yeah.
we don't deal with that. But I think a common issue within this industry is like high turnover rate because the culture isn't great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that. Like from an outsider's point of view, like it's definitely portrayed as that kind of environment.
Yeah.
But so is the wedding industry as a whole, but
Yeah.
I don't necessarily notice that a whole lot, at least in Idaho.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, well, you always hear like people in Idaho are so nice, you know? So I think that that comes across. But like even before I was in aesthetics, when I was really young, like 15, my dad was my dad's still a photographer. He just doesn't shoot weddings anymore, but he would shoot weddings and I would second shoot for him or like assist with him. So I would hear all the drama between like other photographers or between like caterers or whatever. I would hear all the drama.
Oh, I love that. What do you think is one boundary that everybody needs?
I think like as a vendor or okay, as a vendor, one boundary everybody needs. That's a really good question. I would say, I mean, it's a little bit different for me because I'm not someone who is a part of like the wedding day. But something that I've noticed is like how I said we're not like a barter culture. I actually feel like within weddings, there tends to be a lot of, like I said, price hunting and whatever. And I really think an important boundary is setting your price and sticking to it because it also will change the type of clientele you get. And if you're just trying to be like the least expensive person on the market, you're going to get the people who are just hunting for a deal. And unfortunately, those clients, in my experience, are also the most difficult. They're the most like nitpicky. They're the most unhappy just because. And they also are like, I want the lowest price possible at the same time. So not only are you not getting paid like what you're worth, but you're dealing with someone who's annoying, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I agree with that. What's a hill you will die on about weddings?
Ooh, a hill I will die on about weddings. I wish that weddings were a little bit more, maybe I shouldn't say this. I wish that weddings were a little bit more unique, you know? Like, I think that sometimes people scoff at a non-traditional wedding, and I wish they wouldn't because I love that. I think weddings should be a representation of you. So, like, when I was working with my dad, I remember we did like a steampunk wedding at the bishop's house, and it was dorky, but it was like so cool because it was so them. And so I love a non-traditional wedding that is just about the couple and what the couple wants. I don't think your wedding should necessarily be about catering to the people that you invite. And I think that's a little controversial, but that's how I feel.
I think you're right. And I do think that like the younger generations are leaning more towards individuality in weddings, which I'm really excited to see. But it's also like then the older people who are typically paying for the wedding, they're like, no, you have to stick to tradition.
Yes. And I hear that from like my brides that come into the store too. Because if they're prepping for their wedding, that's what we're talking about. We're talking wedding. And you'll hear that like, oh, I really wanted to do this, but my mom is paying for it and she wants me to do this. So I'm like annoyed with that. And I'm like, you should do what you want. You know?
Like it's your one day.
Yeah. And hopefully you're only going to do it once.
Yeah.
Unlike me, but hopefully just once. And so it really should be about you.
Yeah. Do you have any regrets about your wedding?
No, I really don't. So I don't even regret getting married. Like we had a really amicable divorce, but actually my one regret. So my wedding was beautiful. It was expensive, but I kind of let other people control my schedule a little bit. Like I remember distinctly right after we got married, I really wanted to go touch up my hair and makeup. And instead, my cousin, love him dearly, who was my videographer, was like, let's have you walk your entire wedding party from the chapel to the like event area because they were on the same street, very close to each other. Because he's like, it'll look so cool in the video. And I let him talk me into doing it. And then he didn't even use the footage. And I didn't get to touch up my hair and makeup. So I would have changed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's annoying.
Yeah, I would have stuck my ground a little bit more and taken the time to do what I wanted to do.
What is your biggest like success from your wedding?
The photos were really beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think pretty much almost everything that day like went off without a hitch. And I really loved that, like, I was not like a stressed out bride. So I really got to like enjoy all of it. And I had other people kind of taking care of it. So I think that was really successful, was that like I had a good group in place to kind of handle things so that I could just chill out and like be a bride. But because everything was like so beautiful.
I love it when like stuff goes well for the most part.
Yeah. I hate to hear a horror story.
I hate to hear it, but I love to hear it at the same time.
No, for real. I'm like, oh, that sucks. Tell me more.
Yeah. What's a wedding trend you wish would disappear?
Oh, I kind of wish that tossing the bouquet would disappear. And I kind of think it is disappearing.
I think so.
Yeah. I remember at my wedding, I had single women there. No one wanted to catch the bouquet. Like, and I think also with because you hear about how women our age and younger are waiting longer to get married. It's less of like this life goal for people.
Yeah.
You know, they have other priorities first. And so it just feels a little archaic to be like, everyone like fight to be the next person to get married over the bouquet. I think it's going away.
I think so too. And I had a vendor on here who said that in place of that, they're actually giving the bouquet to their mom.
Love that.
Yeah.
That's sweeter.
Yes.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, because mom gets like nothing, really.
Yeah.
Like dad gets first dance, like essentially. Dad gets first dance, dad gets to walk you down the aisle. Like not first dance, but father-daughter dance.
Yes.
And mom's behind the scenes doing literally everything. So
I know. Yeah.
I think
that's very sweet. That's what I should have done at my wedding. There's a regret. I should have done that. I love that idea.
Isn't it so cute? She told me that, and I was like, I love that.
Yeah.
What's a misconception brides have about like the aesthetics world that typically costs them time, money, or results?
I would say probably one of the biggest, I don't know if it's necessarily a misconception, but like an issue that I come across with brides is the whole like, I've never done anything before and my wedding is really, really soon and I want to try like this big crazy service. And it's like, oh, no. No, it's like the let's get a chemical peel 2 days before the wedding kind of thing. And I'm like, let's not do that. So, and because that really is the thing that will, like, especially if you get an esthetician that doesn't know how to say no, like, you might have peeling skin at your wedding, you know? That we don't want that. No. Or if you're not telling your esthetician I'm getting married and it's just I want a chemical peel, it's like no. Yeah, so I would say like really going into the aesthetics world like as a bride go early, even if it's just to get a consultation. Most places do free consultations, or they'll do what we do, where like I think our consultations are $20, but the $20 goes towards a product or the service that you book. And most places do something like that. So I would say go early, get a consultation, talk about what you're envisioning for your day of, and then you can create a plan on how to get there. So
What do you think the biggest reason why people do it so last minute is?
I think because they just don't know.
Oh.
I think it's just ignorance. Like, they're not super into the world of skin or skincare or aesthetics. It's new to them. And their friend is like, you should try this or whatever. And so they're like, okay, I can leave this till the last thing. Especially if your brain is full of all kinds of wedding stuff, it's probably not the number one priority either. So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. This is lightning round. It's
Okay,
this or
fun.
that, no explanations.
Okay.
Ceremony or reception?
Ooh, ceremony.
Okay. First look or no first look?
First look.
Indoor or outdoor?
Indoor.
Buffet or plated?
Plated.
Band or DJ?
DJ.
Champagne tower or sparkler exit?
Oh, sparklers.
Biggest wedding day ick in one word or one sentence?
Just like when the groom sucks. Like, you know.
Okay, wait, going off of that, not like grooms specifically sucking, but do you guys have a lot of grooms that come in for?
We do sometimes.
Okay.
But usually it's like they come in with their fiance or their girlfriend or whoever.
Yeah.
Like, we don't get a lot of grooms that are there on their own. They've been pushed to come in.
Well, and like, quite honestly, if she's putting all this time and effort into her skin prep, like, you're gonna be standing next to her, and like, you want to look good too. Like, my friend Amber, she has Bell Luxury Bridal. She says it's his day too.
It is.
And so like, you both want to look good for pictures, and it takes both of you to like put the effort in.
Yeah. Well, and what I love about it too is like, even outside of like a groom, we'll have like a boyfriend or a husband come in for a facial because they were like dragged in. But then we've had multiple of them become members because they're like, wait, I love this actually. Like, one of my clients was joking with me the other day because she and her husband come in every 2 months. They usually come in together, but they just had a baby. So now they'll come in separate sometimes. And she was joking because he was like getting ready to go hunting, and he was like, well, I have to get my facial first. And she was like, you're the only man that's like preparing for like opening weekend of hunting with a facial. And I was like, I love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I know. I try to get my husband, I'm like, I don't want you to look old, no offense. So like, let's take care of your skin.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
But I also think it's not fair because like, they can also just wash their face with like the 3-in-1 and it looks fine.
Yeah, it's actually so rude. I was talking to my dad the other day and I was saying it is, men are just rude. Like, because as they get older, people are like, oh, he's a silver fox.
Yeah.
Like, his eye wrinkles make him so distinguished and his gray hair makes him look hot, you know? But for women, it's like, oh, you can see her age.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's mean.
Yeah,
it's not fair.
Or like, she's really gone downhill. Or just like the comments.
Yeah, like, as women, there's so much pressure to look 30 for your entire life. Like, Kris Jenner looks absolutely amazing, but like, it's societal pressure, you know? Like, it would be nice if she could just look her age and people didn't hate on her for it.
Yeah.
I mean, she looks so good, but
she does.
Yeah. But it's such a double standard.
It is. Well, and then so like the double standard, especially like in Idaho, I feel like, is like, you're not supposed to get work done.
Yes. Oh my God, my
friend.
You're
supposed to age gracefully.
Yes, my friend Oriana was just texting me about this like 2 days ago because she said, I hate the beauty standard in, like, she was saying in America, but she's from here too. So, and as I think here especially, like, is that you're supposed to look young forever, but you're not supposed to look like you've done anything about it. And she's like, that's rude.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she was pointing out, I don't remember what other culture it was. It might have even been Korea, but she was saying, like, the standard is to have, like, paler skin. So they'll put on light makeup. But no one is, like, judging them for putting on light makeup,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. It's such a weird standard. Like, because I want to get like baby Botox because I'm like
Mhm.
starting to get crow's feet.
Yeah.
And my husband's like, ew, no. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
he thinks it's filler, and I'm like, I have to
It's
explain the
so
difference.
different.
Yes. He's like, I don't want you to look like whatever. And I'm just like, no, like you don't understand. Like it would just like help with like
Yeah. I've been getting Botox since I was, like, 23, and I haven't gotten it in a while, so don't look, but, like, that's what you always hear is, like, "Oh, well, if you get Botox, you're gonna look overdone, and you're gonna look
yeah.
crazy. You can't get filler because you're gonna have duck lips," and it's like, "Leave me
Yeah.
alone."
Because then you also like get the pressure of like they want you to look good. And it's
Yeah.
just like, what do you want from me?
Yeah, it's so mean.
It
And
is.
I don't blame celebrities for getting work done and not saying anything about
yeah.
it, because if you get the work done and you say something about it, people are going to call you fake or
Mhm.
whatever, and it's like you can't even be honest. But then when you're not being honest, people are like, "Be honest."
Yeah. Right.
It's so rude.
I think the biggest one that comes to mind with celebrities getting work done recently, that people were actually like really accepting of it was
Mhm.
Lindsay Lohan.
Oh my god, she looks so
She
good.
does.
Yeah.
She does. I'm like, to have money.
Yeah.
Like, not that I want to change a lot about my face, but it's just like,
Mhm.
she just looks so good.
She looks so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I would love to have more money, and I don't think it would be kind of what you're saying, like, I wouldn't wanna, like, change
Mhm.
how I look, but I would wanna maintain it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good way to phrase it. Okay. Back to the lightning round. What should couples splurge on first?
Photographer.
Okay. What should they cut without hesitation?
Ugh. What should they cut? Oh my god, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
What's like the most overrated wedding thing?
I wanna say, like, buffets,
Mm.
but that's just because I'm, like, a plated dinner girl.
Mm.
I hate buffets. I
If
hate them.
I hate them if they're not
But you
manned.
need them, like, you need
Mm.
food, so I can't be like, "Cut the food,"
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So, but there probably are things that are, like, silly and, like, don't matter about weddings, but I kind of like all of the things about weddings, like,
Yeah.
I love the flowers, so I don't wanna cut that, that's
Mhm.
important.
Yeah.
But you could probably cut, like, silly things like, little wedding gifts. I think
Mhm.
those are silly, cut those.
Yeah. I think that's the most like number one answer for that question, and I think
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a reel of everybody saying that that was the answer because
Yes.
it is like
Yeah, why?
yeah.
No one even uses them, like, at my wedding, we did bubbles as the wedding gift because we weren't allowed to have sparklers. So that way when we left, everyone just used the bubbles.
That's cute.
And so it was kind of dual purpose.
Mhm.
And that I think makes sense. But other than I don't want your candy. I
Yeah.
don't want your I don't want it.
Well, that and like as an Idaho girly, like I feel bad taking it.
Yeah.
Like I know that
Yeah.
it's there for me, but like it's also like I feel like ingrained to us. Like you just
Yeah.
say no.
Well, but also how much money did I just spend on you? Like
Yeah.
why do you need another token?
Yeah.
Like weddings are so expensive and I invited you and you're here. That's your
Mhm.
gift.
Yeah. Right? Yes. All right, last one. One sentence of real advice that every couple needs to hear.
Communicate.
Mm.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I think that's the biggest thing, even with planning a wedding, on the day you're getting married, and then beyond for the rest of your lives, is just be open to like listening and hearing each other and communicating without anger.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for confessing.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Where can they find you?
On Instagram at lavender.facefoundrie.
Awesome. And then is it facefoundry.com for the website?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you.